The moment the waitress slipped the folded note beside his plate, Ethan Cross felt something he hadn't felt in years. Fear. Not the fear of losing money or status, but the sharp, quiet fear that comes when the past suddenly stands up in front of you. The steak sat untouched, steam rising in the bright afternoon light of the diner, while the small white paper seemed heavier than everything he owned. For a man worth millions, sitting undercover in worn jeans and a faded jacket, that note stopped his heart cold. Before we continue, take a second. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that change lives, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Thirds of Kindness. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Ethan had chosen the diner because it was ordinary. Sunlight poured through the large windows, bouncing off chrome tables and worn wooden booths. No suits, no private rooms, no recognition. That was the point. He had spent the last year traveling like this, hiding his wealth, trying to understand people again after building an empire that left him emotionally empty. The menu was cheap, the smell familiar, and the steak, his single indulgence, felt symbolic, like proof he could still choose comfort without excess. The waitress who served him moved quietly but with purpose. Her name tag read Marable, slightly chipped at the edges. She had tired eyes that suggested long days, but there was a gentleness in how she placed the plate down, how she refilled his water without being asked. Ethan noticed her hands tremble just slightly as she worked. This wasn't clumsiness, it was exhaustion. Still, she smiled, the kind of smile people give not because they're happy, but because they don't want others to worry. Halfway through his meal, she returned and without a word, slid the folded note next to his fork. Her eyes met his for a brief second, long enough for him to feel something unspoken, then she walked away. Ethan unfolded the paper slowly, expecting maybe a thank you or a reminder about the check. Instead, the words blurred his vision. The note wasn't long. It didn't ask for money. It simply said that she recognized him, not from the news or magazines, but from a night years ago, a night he barely remembered. A night when a younger Ethan, broke and desperate, had slept in his car behind this very diner. A night when a stranger had brought him leftover food, told him not to give up, and said one sentence that changed everything. You matter more than your worst day. The note ended with a quiet truth. Marable had been that stranger. She wrote that she never forgot him, and she hoped he hadn't forgotten himself. Ethan's chest tightened. He remembered that night now, the cold, the hunger, the shame. He remembered the woman who handed him food through the back door, sunlight just beginning to rise. He remembered promising himself that if he ever made it, he would become someone worthy of that kindness. Somewhere along the way, buried under contracts and boardrooms, he had forgotten. He watched Marable move from table to table, serving others with the same care she once gave him when he had nothing. Her life hadn't turned into a success story. She was still here, still struggling, still choosing kindness anyway. Ethan realized then that his greatest challenge wasn't earning money. It was remembering why he started. When he paid, he left more than a generous tip. He left a letter, written with shaking hands, thanking her for saving a man who didn't yet know how to save himself. He wrote that her kindness had grown into something bigger than either of them, and that he was finally ready to use his success to lift others the way she lifted him. As he stood to leave, sunlight followed him to the door. Marable noticed the letter too late to stop him. Their eyes met once more, and this time she didn't smile out of habit. She smiled because hope had returned to a place she thought it had left. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share this video. It helps these stories reach people who need them most. And before you go, comment one word that describes how this story made you feel. Because sometimes the smallest note can awaken the biggest promise, and kindness, when remembered, always finds its way back.